Murphy Legend, and I'm coming at you live from the Comic Core for another award-winning episode of Outside the Issues. And if you know, you know, we've been talking about the Swamp Thing show, episode 10, the grand finale. Let us begin. I'm going to talk about my buddy Kat Wren. She couldn't be here, and neither could the star, Mark BKR. But let's go to my upper. Let's see, was that right, left? I don't know. We going to Chad. Chad, what's going on tonight with you, man?
Just living it up. What is it? What's he say? Like a hot mouse in a cheesecake factory?
God, what is it, like
I guess something about a rat trap factory,
Fat rat.
some cheese.
maybe like a fat rat in a fly shit factory?
Yeah, something like that. That's what I'm doing. I'm happy to be here. Let's talk some Swamp Thing.
And you know what else, man? You are supporting that man, and we're talking Caleb, Comic Smurf Murphy, by wearing the color blue tonight. And he's drinking to his delight. And then over here in this corner, we have the Cruiserweight 205 Live champion, Drew Gulak, a.k.a. C. Wood 19. Looking fine, man. How you doing tonight?
Just happy to make my Streamlabs, Stream Dog, Stream Yard, whatever debut. So happy to be here. We got a wonderful chat tonight. We got the Caleb Comic Smurf Murphy in the chat. Like you say, he's in some sort of factory gimmick we don't know about. And hey, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. We got bad news. Chris Barrett in the chat. What's going on, man? And I'm sure he's got his blazer on, ready to go. We got Perry Comics in the chat.
Best. Man, I tell you,
I think Chris Barrett's happy that Carson's back.
man, he
Chris
is,
Barrett.
man. See
The
what man.
star of the Comic Core.
It says Carson's first appearance in post Hangout era.
Yep. Speculate on this.
Man,
This is a spec episode. Like we can, like if you save this, you might be able to sell it in a couple months.
Oh, we got Barbarian Kung Fu. What's going on, man?
the BK Barbarian Kung Fu in the house tonight, rocking that Crypt Keeper Tales from the Crypt.
Oh, that was a good one. I like that, Legend.
You know, the voice is always rocking. You never know how it's going to be socking tonight. But we ain't talking about Mr. Socko. We talking about the Swamp Thing, episode 10. But before we begin, shout out to Kat Wren. She's the host with the most on this show, and we better see her next week when we talk about the future episode. But Kat Wren, we're going to go with it. Swamp Thing, episode 10. But first, let's go back to the last scene of episode 9. Swamp Thing carries out the body, the skeletal remains of Alec Holland. And that finally he comes to terms with what Woodrew's hypothesis would be, that when Alec Holland died, the green absorbed his body. And man, there ain't no about it. You know, Abby was there. Swamp Thing was there. The emotional connectedness was there. And then it ends at that. Let's go back to the chat one last time. See what one more we get to the beginning of episode 10. For Kat Wren, baby. For Kat Wren. Hashtag for Kat Wren tonight. And real quick, see what, I'm sorry to already interrupt you. Man, this show is flying. But I got to ask Chad, tell us about those T-shirts.
I'm happy you asked, because right below is in the description we have a link, and we've added some new ones too. We have the Fifth Turtle T-shirt. We've got the Grover, the House of Street of M, and I think there's a new Drew Manchu baby shirt.
Man, I can't wait, man. Carson, how's it going in the chat, man?
Oh, man. Caleb, he's doing his due diligence. I don't even need to be on the link gimmick. He's already posting the T-shirt link in the chat, so thank you for that. Hey, we got a Gene Paul Ace Peter. I know it's one of your favorites, Legend. One of mine, too.
Oh, man. He is a legend. Where's G-Pap been?
That man is a legend before the great legend was a legend, man. I tell you, comic books, he has it. man, he's got it all. And he's got a family tree of comic book collectors that go way back. So, man, check out Gene Paul, Ace Peter, and also check out Polar Press, man. Polar Pressing Services provided by Gene Paul Ace Peter himself, the GPAP of this comic book community. One of the guys that like pretty much is one of the big foundational pieces of the community is Gene Paul Ace Peter, and we're glad to have him here tonight in the Comic Core chat. And make sure that man has a blue wrench, I tell you.
Sure does. He'd be holding it down. We also got Ben Compton in the chat. What's going on, Ben? And then Chris Barrett says hashtag for Catrin. So
For
absolutely.
Catrin,
And here's some Legend. I know you love your synchronicity. Or we just talked about this last night. So Chris Barrett in the chat puts, does the Comic Core need a Friday night theme song?
Yes, we do.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's
we just
right.
had that
All right.
conversation yesterday. So stay tuned, Chris. There may be a theme song on the way. So dang. So,
Man.
all right, take it away, Legend.
We got the episode 10, and I'm just going to kind of skip around because episode 10, I mean, there's so many great things we can talk about episode 10, you know, from the beginning of the show right to the very end, like especially at the very end of the show and more so in the background music, you know, the soundtrack, the musical score behind the emotions that these actors and actresses are going through. But man, it just kept getting stronger and stronger. And they were talking about, you know, the future and, you know, kind of joining up as a team and being together and, you know, forming that alliance and all that kind of stuff. And man, it just and it kind of went to the little closing thing. And of course, we'll talk about the Woodrue cameo at the end in the old jail, you know, so we'll talk about that. But one of the things I want to start with is Madame Xanadu. You know, when she is in the room, she appears in the room to help old what was it, Mama Sutherland or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, when he's doing all that and she's in there, and when old Abby comes in, you know, she's really worried, but Madame Xanadu pretty much told the, you know, crazy lady, you know, she said, you know, I can, you know, make all this pain and all this, you know, cursed stuff that's going on with your mind. I can make it go away, but it's going to cost you something fine, you know? So, I mean, pretty much she is vegetative style state, you know, she doesn't know what she's doing, you know, maybe like a severe Alzheimer's patient or what, but the thing is, in her own conscious mind, she's with her daughter, and that's what she wanted the whole time. Seawood 19, what you got, man?
Yeah, the whole one of my main nitpicks of this whole series run, which by the way, like I love Swamp Thing as a series, episodes 1 through 10. But I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more Madame Xanadu during that whole time. I feel like there was like the second half of the series. We didn't really see her up until this episode too much. So when we got her back in this episode, it didn't do a lot for me. I mean, it just didn't build up a lot between that last scene because we didn't. I'm trying to think of the last time we saw Madame Xanadu. It probably was about 4 or 5 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she didn't make that many appearances, but when she did make an appearance, they were felt, and like I think she would have been a bigger character if this continued.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I agree.
You know, part of the Justice League Dark, the New 52 back in the day, man, great issues to get because Madame Xanadu's in there, and it's awesome. You know, one other thing I was noticing was that little girl that you know, Swamp Thing saved. Because remember episode 9, you know, I was doing the recap thing on episode 9. You know, Abby reminds Swamp Thing, you know, hey, you know, you saved whatever the little kid's name was. We hadn't seen that little kid in I don't know how many episodes.
Yeah, that little girl, and they made mention of it for a brief moment.
Yeah,
and I mean, obviously, she was in the lake, right, when Mama went crazy. So I'm surprised. I wasn't 100%. My wife just walked by. She scared me.
damn.
Now she's gonna hit me live on TV.
That's right, man. We got to see Jenny. We got to see her live. Well, does she want to pull a cameo? Does she want to pull an appearance on the greatest show you're ever going to see in the comic book community? And
She said she is going to make an appearance, but not tonight. She just had surgery, so.
All right. Well, you make sure we always wish her well, because that's what we do on the Comic Core. I got to give a big shout out to Donnie, the Mastodon Comics and Collecting, one of the best you're ever going to see in the comic book community, who we're going to be seeing in Baltimore Comic Con 2019. Man, we're going to be setting the stage for the live show scene. Seawood 19. Let's get back to Swamp Thing real quick. You know, it was a damn good, looking back, I know, through the, I think, last 3 episodes, you can see they're rushing and finalizing the storyline. And like I say, life imitates wrestling. So, when there's a feud or something big or a culmination like a WrestleMania or some kind of final ending, you do have, 12 months, 10 episodes to get to that final point. And I think it was a little rushed, but I accepted it. I was happy with it. What did you think, Seawood?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you 100%. It felt kind of rushed at the end. I mean, just the crap. I know I wasn't on last week, so I'll talk a little bit about the end of episode 9 that you alluded to. Like that thing, it was straight out of Saga Swamp Thing issue 21, which I figured it was going to be the whole time. One of the best single issue comics you'll ever read, written by Alan Moore. I believe they had Stephen Bissett on the art. Phenomenal issue. It's on the DC streaming app. If you guys hadn't read that, I highly recommend it. But it's the exact story of the Floronic Man. He's doing an autopsy on Swamp Thing based on orders from Avery Sutherland. And they find out exactly that, Alec Holland actually died in that swamp. And, basically the swamp basically absorbed his consciousness and cloned it into what is Swamp Thing, basically. So episode 10 was awesome because you get to see him dealing with that. And he comes to grips with the fact that he is not a human being. And, Abby Arcane is the one who basically brings him back down to earth, basically. Is just like, look, I don't care what you are. You saved that little girl. You've saved me multiple times. You're, as far as I'm concerned, you're basically Alec Holland at this point. So I like the chemistry between those two. I think it matches well with what Alan Moore put in his run. But I think the MVP of the series for me has to be old Avery Sunderland. He was my favorite character, surprisingly, among, the Blue Devil, Floronic Man, Swamp Thing himself. I enjoyed the performance of that actor from Remember the Titans the most. So, I absolutely loved Avery Sunderland in this, and kind of glad he sort of won even the battle against his wife. Throw her in that asylum.
See, there's the DC Universe streaming app right there, people. Look at all those issues. Man, I mean, it's awesome. You got all these Swamp Things. Seawood, what issue was the Alan Moore when he started writing it?
The one you want to look for is I think he wrote issue 20, but issue 21, I believe it's just called The Body.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one that's the most famous, and you want to read before you watch episodes 9 and 10 of the Swamp Thing series. I think it'll add a lot to it. I believe in that. No, I don't want to spoil the issue, but
they're
just slightly.
You got all the Swamp Thing, man. The DC Universe, and you could just keep on reading DC. I don't care what Drew Manchu says.
Ben Compton in the chat. Ben Compton in the chat says, "I am Baltimore bound."
Congratulations, dude, that's cool, man. BC.
Ben, if you haven't gotten your tickets and you need them, hit us up on our email, and we can get you tickets at a discounted rate. What you got there, Ledge?
Well, what was crazy was, I don't know where this just like popped up on the screen, like after I got done talking about whatever the hell I was talking about. But dude, Shazam, no, Swamp Thing, but you know what I mean. Stuff popping up, Shazam's popping up on there. I'm a targeted individual. They love me, man. They know my likes. I guess I got to quit buying Shazam books.
We got the immortal Biggie Shaq in the chat.
Brother.
Man, part of the Mega Powers, man, awesome. there's Caleb. They flipped when I did Mystique. Shoot, yeah, man.
He actually, I guess, cosplayed as Mystique.
Hey, man, I could see it happening. I could see it happening, man. He'd be a great Mystique. And, man, it would be a Mystique to me why you'd be wanting to be blue and, crazy. But anyway, I tell you, we got that big shout out, man, to Biggie Shack, and, of course, Biggie's compatriot, the one, the only, the KENNY. He ain't got no alibi. Cream of the crop all the way. The cream rises. You don't know any surprises, but it does go all the way to the top. And man, it stays at the top before he makes that bionic elbow off the top rope drop, man. I tell you, the Macho Head 84, baby, and can you dig it? Oh, yeah.
Caleb says he needs to decide on what 3 books to send to the Comic Core booth for us to sign by the Comic Core for a faux giveaway.
Probably copies of Farmhand #2 do just fine.
Any free books you got, man, just make sure the cover's got the looks and it looks good, and you'll know it is when the Comic Core signs the book. I said, damn.
We did that at C2E2 with the program, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the program was cool. You get one of those E. Gerber magazine size Mylars with one of those magazine size. You got to go fullback. Okay, I am a Comic Spectre fullback on magazine size acid free boards. I'll go E. Gerber fullback on magazine. For my main man, Comic Spectre. Big shout out. One of the best sellers you're going to find online on the YouTube comic auction scene. You don't know what you have seen until you've seen Comic Spectre. So make sure you give old Jim Corrigan a sub and thumb up his stuff and give him some love. Can we get this camera off me? Come on, man. Let me have a rest.
Well, you're rhyming, and I wanted to let you go.
Well, I love you for that. I love you showing me all the love and the support. But, man, the champ is right up here, and I'm talking C-Wood 19, the man that retired we won't even say his name, but he's got he also has the initials of BC. Ben Compton, good seeing you. But yeah, man, I tell you, what a great match. We may see him again at 2K20. Very excited. Becky Lynch, the man, standing in front of the big dog, the 2 best in the WWE. Well, not really. I think Dolph will Dolph beat Roman.
Off on that cover.
So we'll get to that because I want to talk a little SummerSlam if we can squeeze it in here. But
it is outside the issue, so we sure can. Entertainment, TV, film, whatever. Chat. Sorry, brother.
That's okay. My question was, did you guys feel that this episode, obviously to me, and maybe it was me just knowing that it's been canceled, did it seem rushed?
I think yes, because I go to the post-credit scene as the most kind of rushed part.
Yeah,
because they wanted to fit in the whole Abby and Swamp thing. Obviously, that's the main storyline we got going on here. They threw Madame Xanadu in. Like I said, we hadn't hardly seen her for 4 or 5 episodes, and they had to throw her in to get her in that finale. With Mrs. Sunderland, so we had that, and I think Liz Tremaine got thrown on top of it for whatever reason, because they had nothing better to do. But I think the most forced storyline was the Cables. So you had Matt Cable. They tried to squeeze in the drunken wreck storyline that Matt Cable had in the comic as well. Eventually, I think in the comic he has that same wreck, but then he has this whole thing where he sacrifices basically his soul to come back to life, and then they have to fight him basically. Instead of that happening, we end up getting the birth of the Floronic Man on top of it. So I agree with all that.
Which he looked amazing.
Power. Yeah, the Floronic Man looked great.
Just imagine what it would have been like in season 2 with Swamp Thing and old Woodrue going toe to toe in the swamp. Man, you don't know what you're going to know when you see those 2 big green Goliaths go head to head in a battle of wits and a battle of busts. Big wooden chest. Yeah, okay. But yeah, man. So that would have been so damn cool. But of course, tax laws and credits and financial junky stock stuff or whatever they were doing with Warner Brothers.
Then Mastodon makes a good point too. He says the Anton Arcane tease that was supposed to be rumored. There was that Anton Arcane tease during like it was like episode 5 or something like that, where Abby had that dream.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
So they did tease Arcane even in that one episode too, just to try to get him in there.
yeah. This thing, I mean, it had it all. You know, it had Adrian Barbeau. That was a great throwback and everything. So really, just oh man, and he looked like Swamp Thing. You know, I don't think there has been any complaints on that. You know, costume or whatever that dude was. It was pretty crazy with the technology, but that was pretty awesome, man. Did y'all were y'all happy with the apparel and the costume of the Swamp Thing? You know, the actor.
Oh yeah, I thought he looked great the whole time. To be honest,
The costume, though, I mean, if you even look back at the 80s,
That was a pretty
movie,
good one too.
they're pretty similar. I mean,
Mhm.
it's kind of hard to mess that up, but I
Yeah.
like the fact that they used practical prosthetics and makeup instead of using the CGI.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously they use CGI for some of the stuff, but they used a lot of the practical stuff, and it still looks good to this day.
oh yeah.
Hey, Caleb, I'm going to put something up on the screen. He just put in the chat.
Remember, fans, at www.tpublic.com/Comic Cores. Comic Core with an S on the end, not CORE. You know, we're not a nuclear reacting meltdown facility with a big core in the middle. We're not, we're not doing none of that. But look at old Chris Barrett. Chris Barrett says, Kayla, I want to go send 3 blank books to have signed, then send one off to a creator on YouTube, give one to a core member, and keep a book for himself. Man, that's the thing. They're going to sign that book just for you. But we got to get you to sign a book for us, because you know what? We wouldn't be anything if you weren't watching the show. Hell, we wouldn't be here to talk about outside the issues. Speaking of, so Swamp Thing, y'all happy with it? Conclusion on Swamp Thing?
I was pleased with the ending. They teased Titans, and I'm super stoked about that.
Damn. How about
yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the ending. It was bittersweet. Obviously, I was all in for another season, obviously, but even they give us a post-credits tease to nothing and all that stuff. But I still enjoy. Like, I guess the real question is, like, would we suggest this to someone who doesn't have the DC app and is thinking about getting it to watch Swamp Thing? I would say, yeah, why not go for it at this point? All 10 episodes are out. Just pay your month and then just watch them. It's just like going to the movies, basically. It costs money to go to the movies, so you may as well pay your one-time fee, watch Swamp Thing episodes 1 through 10. I think you'll enjoy it.
And I think you stay to watch Doom Patrol. I think you'll stay to watch Titans. And I think there's enough programming on there that's been pretty impressive. They got those throwback ones that are hilarious with the Justice League, and when Burt Ward and Adam West we're teaming up with the Shazam and the other people.
Oh my god! So and you can get all that here on the DC Universe app. I mean, DC puts it all at the palm of your hand if you got a phone, or read it on a tablet, or read it on your computer. You got DC Universe Online. I'm actually tapping in. I'm going to see if they have House of Secrets on the DC Universe app here.
I think they have at least
Specifically, issue 92.
And I mean, I can say, like, to me, I'm kind of debating on like just lowering my cable bill altogether, because I mean, between the DC streaming service, the HBO streaming service, Netflix, Hulu, I mean, come on, Amazon Prime is killing it too. The Boys.
Oh yeah.
That's what you get. Just like Chad says, Amazon Prime, that's a freaking excellent deal, because man, don't you get like free shipping, right, Chad?
Yeah.
That's what I get too.
And you can get same day pickup service too, which is really cool, because if you have a Whole Foods near your home, you can go to a Whole Foods. They have lockers right up front, and you can just pick up your stuff. So that's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm. All that good stuff. Freaking awesome. Man, well, I tell you what. So the DC Universe is stacked with some great freaking shows, but some of my favorite shows, if y'all didn't know, are on the C freaking W. I mean, the CW, I love me some freaking Arrows, probably one of my favorites. It was so good. Kind of went a little low in the middle, but then it got way better and better. And man, that's a great show. Flash, you got to love Barry Allen, Run, Barry, Run. The League, I mean, what is it? What is that? Future, what are they? Legends of Tomorrow? Yeah, that's what they are. Legends of Tomorrow. They're freaking awesome. That's been, time travel. Tom Wilson, Biff Tannen, you had him in the last season, so love that show too. But what are they going to be getting to, Carson? What is this big event that's going to be happening?
They are pumping up for one of the best events ever, Crisis on Infinite Earths. Man,
now, if you don't have these books, I know we're not speckers, but I'm spec the shit out of this. Go get those books. One, it's a fantastic read. Mm-hmm. Two, it's shooting up in price.
Mm-hmm. I gotta see. I'm pretty sure. I think I bought just some beater copies just to read and stuff, and I think I've got those. I'm gonna have to check. I think I got those somewhere. I don't know.
There.
I was thinking about taking them, and I don't even think they were so dirty and so beat up. I didn't even take them to George Perez to sign. I just those are some of the ones I left behind. But I got old George Perez to sign, the one that mattered to me, the one I went to the show for, the one I met my brothers, the Kama Core. And I'm talking about Fantastic Four, #1, George Perez. I think it's a 1 in 200, maybe a 1 in 50, I don't know. But George Perez variant. Freaking awesome. Even has Ben Grimm's got a little cigar in his mouth. Looking good, man. Looking fine. But Seawood 19, tell us more about what's in store for the CW when it enters the Crisis Infinite Earths.
Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be, I think, 5 episodes. And there's going to be, I think, 3 episodes in December. And then there's going to be some sort of cliffhanger that goes into January. So they usually just do around the Black Friday, Thanksgiving time has been their previous spinoff. So, I mean, they're hyping this thing up big. And it looks like, my guess is the show Arrow is going to be the ultimate hype machine for the show. I think according to what I've heard, the whole Arrow series, the final season is going to be just hyping up the end of, or the Crisis spinoff. So,
yeah, I saw the trailer when who is it? Who shows up?
Monitor?
I know who shows up. You know who shows up? The man, the myth. Seawood 19 knows what's coming because it's time. Jason Smith. Damn, how about that? That was a rhyme within a rhyme, people. If you've never experienced it, man, that's what it feels like when you're rhyming and you're going to rhyme, but you put a rhyme inside the rhyme. When I rhyme Seawood 19. Man, that's how you do it, man. That's how you do it. So if you want to look into the future of the advanced mind, you go forward 5 seconds in time, grab those words that's in front of you because those are the words that's going to be coming at you. That's what it's all about. And that's why we do this. We come at you live because we know you're like us and you want to have a good time. Chad, what do you think? How's it going behind the scenes in the gorilla position? Is there any news from Cat Wren or Mark BKR or JD? Where the hell is JD? Did the swamp take him?
I think the swamp took both these guys. But I saw something in the chat. Caleb was talking about Pennyworth, and that's another one that is I've heard is really good. But in addition to Crisis, we are getting the Judas contract on Titans.
Nice.
Heard that.
And the new additions to Titans this year are going to be Bruce Wayne, Crypto, and Connor Kent.
Oh, my God, that's freaking awesome.
In addition, you're also going to get the very first appearance of the Ravager.
Ooh.
And if you want to, Carson, this is a debate. I mean, I was talking to somebody earlier today. Ravager's first appearance was in what?
Now, is it as Ravager, or are you just looking for the first appearance of Deathstroke's daughter?
Because, I mean, she was sitting at the table. He busts in. Something happens. Her eye gets hurt, injured, or something, right?
if I remember right. Yeah, it's been a long time, but I think like the
I
first
thought that was
appearance in general of just his daughter was in Deathstroke the Terminator 13 or something like that. I have the issue somewhere back there, but I can't remember the exact number. But I thought wasn't the Ravager? Wasn't she the Ravager in the John's Titans run, or was it right before that she was introduced?
She was introduced, and I'm pretty sure in Wizard magazine.
Ooh,
Oh, was that the?
that's the gimmicks.
Okay, I kind of know what you're talking about.
The Wizard magazine gimmicks. Yes, it's true. It's damn true. Some first appearances arrived in store just for you, but they came in store in that Wizard magazine poly bag.
Well, and what's really cool about this storyline is they're combining a lot, and they're changing a lot of the stories. And what books are going to be very hot because of the show is going to be obviously
The
Judas
focal point.
the Judas Contract is going to be one, where I believe Ravager is going to be taking the place of
Tara.
Also, you're going to get Connor and Crypto, and in addition to that, I think you're also going to see a death in the family.
Yes.
And a return
Get that little pipsqueak out of here.
because Raj is being helmed as the villain for season 3 of Titans. So I think you're going to see the return, and I think Deathstroke's going to be taking the place of the Joker, killing Jason Todd. So you might actually get in season 3 a little under the red hood too. So
many like good investments, speculation, future news that's for you, so you can plan to possibly these issues before the prices get out of hand. Right, Chad?
absolutely. I mean, right now you can buy these books at a pretty a really good price. Another book that's coming out, another movie that is coming out in Hollywood currently is looking for it, is Warner Brothers is reportedly looking for a new director on Batgirl. And the Batgirl, for example, is going to be
Nice.
based off of the, oh my God, what is it? I can't remember now. The Burnside one. What was that?
Oh, the Batgirl Burnside, the Babs Tar run.
Yeah, Batgirl of Burnside. So that's
Nice.
gonna be, so if you're able to get those stories, I think they'll pay off for you. In the long run. Also, Wonder Woman 84, Birds of Prey is coming out. The Birds of Prey, the fabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. So I think with all this and some of the news, there's also Warner Brothers is developing Project Nightwing currently. And I think there's going to be a lot of stories coming out. And Nightwing surprises me because Dan Didio hates Nightwing.
Hey, but Dan Didio loves Phantom Stranger, so if Nightwing's ever in danger, you better call Nightwing. Dick Grayson, you better call on him, the Phantom Stranger, and maybe he'll save you if you're feeling black and blue. Or you could be wearing the black and red costume, and then you'll be dead. So you never know, man. Dick Grayson.
And also, one last thing, Katana is returning in Arrow
Nice.
for the final season.
Fun.
People gave me hell when I got issues of Katana back in the day of New 52. I did sell them, but I can read them in the DC universe. But one of the greatest, like little 12-issue runs or 10 issues, whatever. A lot of great characters and a lot of great mythos and lore behind that character. So if you're, a Suicide Squad Katana fan, check out that New 52 run. You'll be glad you did. And if you want more awesome reviews of current day issues, you need to check out on the Comicore Drew Manchu's reviews. Man, he's been killing it on the scene. He is a reviewing machine. There's no doubt about it. He loves Marvel more than DC, but he is one of the best in the comic book community. Chad, what do you think about Drew Manchu and his reviews and the love, the lore, and the story he brings to the core? What do you think about that guy?
Drew's killing it on there right now, and he's doing a great job. Whitewell Comics is in the chat, and I
The
was
best. He's one of the best. You know who he is. The Natural. White Whale Comics, man. One of the best in the comic book community. Man, one of the sharpest minds for the story, the spec, and a good time. White Whale Comics.
Well, I mean, talking about the Carnage review that Drew recently did you see where they brought back Scream? And I don't know if you guys had read it or not.
Yes, I did, man. It was absolute one of the hottest characters back on the scene in the big Marvel machine.
And yeah, I'm pumped about everything right now that's going, and since essentially what the heck, San Diego, things are starting to pick up, and from DC expanding their. Now that's a question: are those DC books going to be worth anything? Because they're putting a Doom Patrol based off of the show comic in the Walmart.
I don't know, man. But did you just go from like Doom Patrol? Holy hell, I didn't know. You got to slow it down on the comic cult. I don't know. I got to get back on Carnage, man. Carnage is back. He's just in time because when Venom 2 hits the big screen, everybody better get in line for the Big O issue 360. The old school cameo? Or is it first appearance? Oh, and then you got that first full appearance, issue 361. And then you got to get part 2 and part 3, issue 362 and issue 363. Seawood 19, tell us where we are at in the most glorious Comic Core chat.
All right, so yeah, like you said, we got the Natural Whitewell Comics. What's going on? He's giving some grades to some movies here, Legend. You like this? So he watched 2 movies this week. He watched Aquaman. He gave a B-.
I know what he's giving.
And he watched. There it is, Shazam. A. And I agree, it's a good movie. I love me some Shazam Family. It was awesome. I actually watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood this week. It was really good as well.
Was it good?
Yeah, I really liked it. It probably overstayed its welcome by a little bit, but if you just want some Tarantino comedy action with DiCaprio and Pitt, it was actually a lot of fun.
What's the whole Bruce Lee?
I mean, I think a lot of people, when they think Tarantino, they think like, either gangster or gritty action and that stuff. I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is just like, it's alternate history and comedy mixed together. It's kind of nuts the way the movie works. But when you have Bruce Lee in a movie like that, or an actor portraying Bruce Lee, obviously, he's got to be a little bit over the top. So Brad Pitt's character decides to pick a fight with Bruce Lee. As they're he's a stuntman and Bruce Lee is Bruce Lee on a set, and they kind of get into it, and he keeps going, "Wow!" And they kind of overdo it a little bit, and I think some people got upset about it. But
that's
pretty funny. He throws him into a car, and it's hilarious.
That's pretty messed up, man. That's pretty messed up. I know TiVo from Lords of the Long Box. He is back. Make sure you find his link somewhere because he is back on YouTube. He was just taking a little hiatus, but he is back, and he's here to stay in the comic book community. That's cheap ass rhyme right there, man. I tell you, but yeah, he didn't like that. I don't think he liked the Bruce Lee stuff on there, but I've heard some good stuff about the movie. But then some people, they're not gonna like old Tarantino. Would
yeah, like I said, it has all.
That was one of the Sami Zayn throwbacks. That was a Sami Zayn throwback. Yay, Woodard, throw it back like that. Hey, I'm Canadian. Hey,
yep.
Oh, wait. Jason Smith and Caleb talking about issue 361. I got, started collecting, about that time. I got all those books. I was getting, I had Cardiac was actually my favorite, though. He was like really cool. But 361 or 360, I got 361. I got to see the issues of Cletus Cassidy, things of that nature. And man, I just, ended up selling them, get rid of the clutter, get some more new stuff with some more duck butter. But no, man, Jason Smith and Caleb, I did grade the issue 361. It was two books I sent to CGC, Spawn 1 and that issue 361, Amazing Spider-Man. Both of them came back 9.4. They had a crap ton of spine ticks, but I was like, 9.4, near mint, baby. You know what I mean? You get that 9.4, baby. You near mint, man. You can't complain. That's a damn fine issue. There ain't no denying. Because if you want more reviews, check out Joe Ryan. I had to think of that one pretty quick. I'm going to be honest. That was 2 seconds. Oh shit, the rhyme's coming up. I gotta rhyme some shit with Joe Ryan real quick. You know what I'm saying? Chad, what do you think about these kick-ass shows? They're going to be coming out. CW, man.
There's more and more coming out. I mean, the CW's got a lot. I mean, the Disney app is going to have a ton. I know Disney is going to be making it a focus after they took
Loki TV show. Really, like a Loki TV show?
The Loki TV show is cool.
Oh my god, that's going to be so cool.
I think, and they had to bring Loki back. So I think the reason why we saw him take the escape in Endgame was because of the TV show. But right now, Disney took, I think for the first time in a long time, its first loss in a quarter.
Ooh.
They missed their quarter by almost $200 million, and they're crediting the loss due to
the purchase of Fox, right? Maybe.
Well, sort of, but they're saying that it's mainly because of Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix
took a hit.
Dark Phoenix was a $200 million movie that only generated $65 million in the theaters. And they missed their budget by $252 million. So I think they took a hit, but I also think Warner Brothers is positioning themselves for a win coming up with some of the new franchises coming out. And I think that's why they're spending so much time on redeveloping these characters. I mean, right now, Warner Brothers took a ton of losses with the Dark Universe. It started off with the Dark Universe. And the Dark Universe, I mean, Tom Cruise and the Mummy was awful.
That was a disgrace.
But, I mean, the bad thing about it is, and I know this is outside the issue, so I can talk about this. Universal just announced that they're opening up a new theme park based off of
the classic monsters.
Well, it's going to be a park that's going to have sub parks like Fantasyland, and and one of the rumors of the lands are going to be the Universal monster movies, the classic monster movies.
Man, I love that.
So you might have like Frankenstein's Ride or Island or whatever the case may be. They're also talking about having a section of how to train your dragon rides. And so there's going to be a bunch of different worlds. And I think Universal is taking the blueprints that has been laid out in front of them by Disney, and that's how they're going to come back. And I think revisiting some of their properties and reinventing them, I think, let's face it, all of us are going to go see Top Gun. I mean, it's
classic, man. Freaking classic. We need this time. We need some Top Gun, man. We need some Maverick. We need some just old school, get in the jet, don't give and you're going to go blow some shit up. That's what you do. Damn, he's coming for you. He may not have Goose, but Maverick's on the loose. And when he points that gun down the line, you're going to turn around and you're going to run for the hills, but it ain't going to matter because your brains will splatter with the artillery that jet fighter has behind it. So you better know that, know your damn role, right, Chad?
Absolutely. And they're also bringing out a they're redoing the Ghostbusters, so they're doing a Ghostbusters 3.
Y'all across the streams together.
So
You didn't. Who didn't like the blonde haired, the real Ghostbusters? Y'all didn't like the blonde haired Egon with the little rat ponytail.
I didn't like that show.
Oh, yeah.
The only show I liked of it was like the 6th episode.
Mhm.
They went to Hollywood to be introduced to the movie that was being filmed about their life story, and actually
Real
Dan Aykroyd was the producer, and also my
Ivan
God.
Reitman or Egon.
Egon was in it, and Bill Murray. But guess
Ryan
who wrote the real Ghostbusters?
Was it Bill Murray?
No, the cartoon, the real Ghostbusters.
Who wrote it?
Yeah.
Bill Murray?
So
Dan
Carson,
Aykroyd.
let me
Had
ask
to
you
be
a
Dan
question.
Aykroyd.
Yep.
Carson knows it's Dan Aykroyd.
So most recent, like before, who Michael Straczynski, help me out. He wrote Thor, right?
Yes.
He was the one that actually wrote he was the head writer on the real Ghostbusters cartoon.
my
No, wow, that's fine.
You know that cartoon? I always felt like Peter Venkman on the cartoon.
But hey,
Garfield.
I gotta add somebody, okay?
Sure, man. Yeah, here we go. There he is. There he is.
Speaking of the real Ghostbusters, the greatest thing about that is the dude who played Winston. What's his name? Jesus, John.
Ernie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson. Ernie Hudson auditioned for the role of Winston Zedmore on the cartoon and got somebody else was cast instead. He didn't even play himself on the damn cartoon.
They actually
What the hell is that?
In the cartoon, they actually at that time even had like a Me Too movement because Slimer had too big of a round butt, so they had to trim it down.
Yeah, man. Trim it down, Town.
Look, man, I'm as fan of slimy butts as anybody, and I'll tell you, I don't got anything to say about that.
But let me tell you what we do. have to
Ernie
say.
Hudson's the modern Virgil.
This guy, though.
Modern.
Drew,
I mean,
how about
seriously,
this?
Virgil Ed Collins is just sitting there like sadly.
Yeah, so is Ernie Hudson.
One of his best roles playing opposite Brandon Lee and everyone's favorite, the Crow, man. Remember Arnie? Was he in The Substitute 2? I think it was because one was that that other guy, the sniper or whatever.
Everybody pull up your IMDb to check out Ernie Hudson. We need to get to the bottom of this.
I am going to give you Ernie Hudson's.
Was it
film
Substitute 2?
I think it was. It definitely wasn't the first one, so it'd probably had to be the second one.
What was the first one? Who was the guy, the catcher for the baseball movie?
Behringer?
Yeah,
Tom Berenger.
Tom Berenger. He was a
Oh, Tom
classic.
Berenger.
Drew, real quick, while Chad's going to IMDb, we're going to be starting with the DRU, man. Congrats on your awesome Drew Manchu reviews. You're taking the world by storm and letting people know that Marvel, DC, hopefully some DC reviews coming up. But, man, they're here
Monday.
to stay, man. Yeah, what issue of Batman you got coming up?
Batman 76, this past week's issue. I will talk about it Monday.
That's going to be awesome, man.
It's already recorded.
Y'all look forward to these Drew Manchu reviews because he has one of the best minds for the reading you're ever going to see. You always see that in Woodard, you know where I'm going. See, comic book community. Yeah, but it's a cheap rhyme, but we're using it tonight live with Drew Manchu. Hey,
Yeah, man, I've been having a lot of fun doing these.
You're doing a great job.
The issues.
Yeah, we got a premiere tomorrow at noon Eastern.
Oh, man.
My review of Berserker Unbound. So
No.
be sure to check that out.
Awesome.
I hear Legend really likes the Berserker.
Hoss. I mean, total ripoff of Bruiser Brody, but they were actually going to be tag team partners coming in to WWE. They were supposed to be coming in together, him and the old Berserker, Bruiser Brody, but gone too soon.
Hey, my love for you is like a truck, Berserker.
Mm-hmm. Oh, classic. Gotta love Randall and Dante and their old German singer out there.
Did he say making fuck?
Yeah. Berserker.
My love for you is ticking clock berserk, yeah.
Man, aren't you glad we're going to get the reboot of Jay and Silent Bob. I'm sure we'll see the Randall and Dante guys in there. Those Howland.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to be in it. He got Affleck to be in it, so everybody's going to be in it.
Oh,
Sure, he's not supposed to be working that day, but he will be.
Affleck, he has sex with girls in like peculiar positions.
this is truly
He likes to put
issues.
it in uncomfortable places,
Yeah, the back a back of a Volkswagen.
like the back of a Volkswagen.
He doesn't want to make another Batman, but he'll make another Kevin
Dude,
Smith.
Ernie Hudson.
He wants to
has
make
been
another Batman. He just can't.
Ernie.
Can't be trusted.
He's been in so many
He's done
shows.
TV shows.
Like, I'm literally scrolling, and this dude does anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
character actors, man.
oh my god, I remember Wild
Workers.
Palms with Tom Laszlo.
They're the,
Back-
they're the Moxleys, dude. They're on the indie scene. You know what I mean? They don't really care about
Oh,
that.
he was on Pop Rock.
Yeah, Ernie Hudson ain't gone too soon.
Oh my!
And Leviathan. Weeds. The Last Precinct. The Superpowers Team. Galactic Guardians. The Death of Superman. He
Oh,
played.
it's already in Twin Peaks: The Return. I forgot.
He played
but he
the
played Steel.
Cyborg.
Oh, he played the Cyborg. Okay.
Ray Parker Jr.'s Ghostbuster video.
Oh,
He played Ernie Hudson.
Yeah, he played himself. I mean, like some of these are. Listen, here. This one's called the $5.20 an hour dream. That was something he was in.
That's when he was giving hand jobs away behind the Waffle House dumpster.
His first role was on Lead Belly.
You look
Human
like you
Tornado.
work at Waffle House. CM Punk. You look like you work at Waffle House. Of course, CM Punk and Johnny Ace, they didn't see eye to eye or face to face.
Hi, it's John Laurinaitis, the Executive Vice President
People
Talent Relations. I'm here to talk about people power.
People power.
There you go. That's my-
My brother was in the Legion of Doom.
My brother was super.
So- Can we use this
I
transition?
was Shane Douglas's less talented partner.
Perfect time to transition to wrestling. Drew, go to any shows.
Peru.
I am going to the AEW launch show in DC on the the 2nd of October. It's a Wednesday. I'm going to get all liquored up and I'm going to watch grown ass men pretend to fight in their underpants. It's going to be fantastic.
Now, did you hear about who AEW has added to their female roster?
I have not.
Well, it's
Anybody
somebody-
today?
It's somebody that she knows the answers, but they're always changing the questions.
Who's Rowdy?
It's Rowdy, his daughter.
Oh yeah, I didn't know he had a daughter.
Last name Toombs, Toombs, but I don't know how to spell the first name.
She's going by, I forget.
She's bi.
No,
That's
I didn't say-
cool. That's great.
I didn't
Hey
say
man,
that.
it's her life. Let her live it.
Amen
Come
to
on,
that.
Chad. Don't judge her.
Yeah, Chad. Hey, up there. Hey,
I need some more progressive ideas than out of this guy.
We got Donald up there. I'm just kidding. Donald.
What are you doing up there, Chad?
Damn, what is he doing? Jason Smith in. Y'all heard of this Attack of the Killer Donuts? Well, that's probably why you don't work for the USPS anymore. Oh, I got too soon. My
What?
bad. No, no, what?
Jason Smith get caught sending media mail himself?
Yeah, what are you doing? Sending donuts to yourself in the mail, getting them nice, juicy, jelly donuts. Rub all of it on your body.
He was buying stuff for his grandson.
Jelly donut, Jason. Oh yeah, eat them, Jason. Rub the donut in your face. But we do have.
I
We
have
do
no
have
idea.
Jason Smith. That is a Vincent Kennedy McMahon style behind the scenes, how he would envision Smith rubbing jelly donuts all over himself.
It was me, Austin,
It was him the whole time.
all the time.
All the time.
Damn, I can't believe it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, some of these became. You're a fool, Jr.
Legend, you kind of eared, he said.
I know he loves it, man. He just loves it. But man, we got to go with what we know, and what we know is the comical. This is outside the issues. What do y'all think we have for next week? What do y'all want to talk about next week? We have a finalization of the Swamp Thing. We have had a great time. All of these episodes on Outside the Issues. We had a great time entertaining you. But panel, what do y'all think about the future of the show? What are we doing next time?
Why don't we let the chat talk about it? What do they want? Oh, wait. I think we got a couple answers there. Ready?
Is there some boys? Is there some boys in there? Oh, yeah, CB, you know our mind. Whoa, another one on another time. Comics Misexplained on the down low, rhyming and repeating what Chris Barrett already knows. Caleb Comic Smurf Murphy, going back to the Smurf Village, gone too soon. The Smurf
good night,
Magic
Caleb.
Flute, baby. I saw it in the theater in the 80s. Great movie.
The Magic Flute. I'm going to see Dora tomorrow.
Oh, that looks like it's going to be good.
For the Hobbs and Shaw and IMAX tomorrow.
That
Right.
Roman, baby. Roman.
Just-
Yeah.
Dora
Big
afternoon.
dog on the big screen.
Yeah, that's the only reason I'm not seeing that movie.
It's gonna be so bad. It's gonna be.
I heard Michael Cole really comes out and goes, "It's the big dog."
He's got to.
Dude, that's freaking cool. Well, with the boys, Chad, this is, near and dear to you because
That's my favorite.
there's a rumor that this is your most favorite son of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I love the boys since the get go. I mean, the story was hilarious. I mean, it was a good story overall. I was telling Carson, and
C. Woodard 19?
yeah,
Alright.
sorry.
Damn, it's like telling Batman, hey, I was telling Bruce Wayne right here in the cowl.
Hey, you know what? We can edit this right now, right?
Bruce Wayne, damn it.
Hey guys, I don't know about this. I think we just gave away his identity.
Johnny Ace and the Justice League.
I think the green guy is Shane Helms. Gregory Helms. I think he's the green guy under the mask.
I think we should compare like the actual story versus what the episodes were.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I know. I got to read it, though. I got to get caught up. I started reading it, but I fell asleep, man. I was just so tired one night, and I had already been reading some, Fantastic Four, of course, Kirby, the old days, But yeah, man, that'd be awesome, Chad, to read it and watch it.
Because how Huey and Butcher, how Butcher finds out.
Big shout out, Huey Blaster, stash it. Butterflies in the sky. All right, we won't go there, but yeah, like reading and rainbowing it, baby.
I'm cool. I'm just gonna listen.
No. I'm sorry. You go. I just
No.
No, you go. I didn't mean to steal the show. It's just
Yeah.
it's a habit on the great show.
He had red wings. Huey earned his red wings.
Many bulls, Red Bulls.
Yeah. No, his red wings.
Oh, gone too soon.
Chris Barrett says in the chat, "I'd love to get me some Queen Maeve."
Oh yeah.
Hey, into you, Barrett.
Jigs Kingdom is in the chat.
Jigs, man, long time no see. He's one of the
Jigs
best. in the
Kingdom.
series.
Oh man, King of the Mystery Slab, Jigs Kingdom.
You
One
want
of
to
the
see that
best.
slab? Too bad. It goes to Jigs Kingdom.
Jigs, I might have some mystery slabs. We're doing an auction with White Whale on Sunday, so stop by and maybe we got some mystery slabs for you.
That's right. Just make sure you ain't got no jigs below the belt over there, Drew. Eat meat.
Oh,
I don't know.
Okay, I had to get to the bottom. I knew it was a combo. I knew it wasn't no single just eat meat because that sounds kind of
nah,
weird.
you eat meat and you drink beer, baby. It's how we live.
Amen to that, man. I love me some meat.
Heard
Fresh meat. That fresh meat.
So
Chainsaw
far
Man.
tonight, I've heard you say you love meat, and I've heard Chet that he loves boys over and over and over again.
Drayton Sawyer, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. It's in the beef. He won that chili. You remember that one? There's Dennis Hopper co-starring with all that chainsaw wielding. Great flick. That's outside the issues, Cat Wren. And Cat Wren, mind you, she's gonna be having the Oktoberfest here on the Comic Horror, and on Cinema Figures, of course. She's going to be reviewing like horror movies out the wazoo. So make sure you're subscribed to Cinema Figures, but subscribe to Cat Ren too for all your comic book and toys and collectible reviews, man. She's one of the best, and we tonight lay her to rest. But she'll be back revived, revamped, reconciled, and ready to smile. She's going to be here in October giving you some action that you are going to want to see in October with the horror movies. So, and then, like I said, outside the issues this October, we'll have our own horror themed every Thursday night. So come for it and come for the fright, and we will bid you a welcome all day and all night. Here live on the Comic Horror. Chad, back to you. Sorry, my friend.
No, that's all right. And Cat and Mark will be with us tomorrow. So
yes,
Yay.
get that Friday night action.
I'm just watching this chat go.
Man, the chat, is it really flying fast? Is it flying as fast as Joe Ryan is?
Flying Joe Ryan.
Oh,
Still got Jason Smith in the
Hey,
chat saying
true.
WTF over.
Classic Pillman, Brian
Always love
Pillman
seeing
gimmick.
Jason Smith.
Flying Brian Pillman. Flying
The immortal Biggie Shack brother. He's still in the chat, clanging and banging, dude. Then came up with that. And Mastodon, he's still in the chat.
Donnie, man. Oh my God. Check out Donnie on Instagram and check out that freaking awesome Flash tattoo. He got his Flash tattoo colored in, and man, it looks freaking awesome, man. Freaking Flash, man. Can't wait
I
for
saw
that.
that. I didn't realize it was Donnie. I saw it and I think I threw hard at it, but I was like, oh, Flash tattoo.
You may have thought it was Donnie Cates.
No, probably not. No.
You have one of those love-hate relationships with Donnie. Is that true?
With Don Moser?
No, Donnie Cates.
Oh no, I love Donnie Cates.
All right, I'm just making sure. I'm just
I
making
love the
sure.
Mastodon too. He hates Black Hammer because he's an ignorant son of a bitch.
He
to
doesn't-
be honest.
he doesn't I've always liked Lemire, and I haven't read
He's
Black
just out of
Hammer.
his element. Donnie's just out of his
I
element.
can hear
Donnie,
groaning
maybe
from
Don
here.
will come around. I mean, Donnie, it's Jeff Lemire. I mean, you just got to get into the mind of some of these riders. You got to kind of
He's coming to Baltimore. I'm gonna buy an omnibus at the con and smack him in the back of the head.
I may get. Oh, you're
like a
talking about,
foreign object.
I thought you were talking about Jeff Lemire coming to Baltimore. So
He's coming to Baltimore too. Yeah, I'm getting all my Black Hammer signed to fuck up.
Woodard, I'm bringing. You know what book I'm bringing? The New 52 issue 1. I may bring 2 copies of it and get them golden slab. Maybe a 9.8.
Golden able.
9.8. If I don't get the 9.8, I'm going to be beaten a freaking slab in the ground because I'm going to have a 9.8 because that's how I want to have my slab. So we can take my slab down and get that 9.8 and rock it all around the town, baby. It's 9.8s. Only 9.8. No 9.6s, no 9.4s, no 9.2s.
What about a 9.9?
I'll take a 9.9, and I'll also have a Gem Mint 10, baby. 10.0. I'll be the macho that'll put the 1 and the O in the little dot in the middle and then put the O on the end. My friend, can you dig that?
Oh,
That's how we do it, all of us. And that's where the big boys play. WCW, oh yeah. This one's for you, Macho Head 84, baby. We love you, Kenny. Macho Head 84. Even got an oh yeah from the wife in there. She is my Miss Elizabeth, baby. Elizabeth. I will put you in the closet, Elizabeth, because I don't want any other men to look at my lovely
Did you see the way he was looking at Elizabeth?
Hogan, you don't look at Elizabeth that way. If I had the sunglasses on, they would be off because I'm looking you straight in the eye, Hogan. You don't touch Elizabeth like that. Lenny, get Paflo, or whatever the hell the old man's name was. An awful
Angelo.
Angelo
My mother's name
Paflo.
was Angelo. He was a professional wrestler.
Talk about my baseball
All right.
career. Oh yeah.
We transition to the wrestling. I'm gonna
I don't
ask.
remember what we're talking
Somebody timestamp this in the comments below for my main man, Comic Head 84, baby.
At 104.38, we went off the rails.
104.38. Actually, rewind that. Take it back a little bit, baby, because you'll see the intro from Drew Manchu, baby.
All right, so I'm gonna ask a question to you guys. Strictly
Strictly
First,
Comics. He's a
no,
great
no,
guy.
no,
Edmund, we love you,
about.
Edmund.
Yeah, he's pretty
He-
good.
C. Wood, ready? Number one promo of all time. Go.
Probably Bash at Beach 96. Hogan joins the NWO.
All right, Drew Manchu.
When Jake the Snake talks real close like this, you're gonna get him. He gets in your face afterwards and commands your attention. Anytime Jake the Snake would whisper and then yell, that was the best.
Yes. All right. You, Les?
Me, of course. Well, it's the one that I did about 20 seconds ago right here on the Comico live show. That's right. It's damn true. The best in the world promo right here, baby. So I'm coming for you. Anyone in the CBF? Well, I got to quit talking about
But
like Kenny.
I'm serious. I think by far the best promo of all time started off. First of all, I would like to thank many, many fans because I can't talk like him throughout this country that wrote cards and letters to Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. Wow, down. Secondly, I'd like to thank Jim Cornette Promotions for waiting.
Crockett.
Yeah.
Triple cheese, double double onions, motherfucker.
Triple
Jim Cornette.
Triple T.
I also think that an honorable mention that I mean I'm a Jake fan. The classic Jake the Snake, that is my favorite promo of all time. I can objectively say that it's nowhere near as good as the Steiner Math promo. The Steiner Math promo might be the greatest piece of television in the history of the medium. Yeah. He got a 33 and a third chance of winning. What the hell was he talking about? He was out of his mind. And then he's like, that same period of time when he just kept calling the Dudleys a bunch of fat asses was the best period in wrestling. That TNA stuff was so good.
There was
so
a hidden gem where they made him the ring announcer for an entire Impact. And it's absolutely hilarious.
That was great.
When Piper hurt his knee and he was going against Iron Sheik, and he was in the locker room, he's like, I'm a man. That's what we do. We get hurt. We take the hurt. That was I gotta find that promo. That was a good one back in the day.
You know,
good promos, man.
Kurt Angle can't beat me, so he's not even gonna try.
I did go on T Public today to look for shirts, baby. And you know they have a Piper Panther. Remember the Panther he had?
Yeah.
They actually have a Piper shirt.
Didn't he have it tattooed on his like his
leg?
cap or something?
I thought it was on his leg, but it was a shirt, and they actually made the toy out of it. But I don't remember him going all Braveheart when he painted half his face.
It was a WrestleMania.
Bad News Brown.
Yep.
And you know the great one where tell the old Andre. Do you remember what Andre?
Yeah, you were saying that Andre took his cleaning solution, poured it down the drain, and refilled the bottle with water. So then, like, Piper had to take an airplane ride and travel around when he was like half black and half white.
Really?
Yeah, he had to travel in public because he couldn't get the makeup cleaned off that they applied to him for that match.
Andre like funny ribs. Andre funny rib.
God, I hope Chad's not painting himself.
Hey, boss, I'm not playing Anybody want to peanut?
Andre like big rib. Roddy Piper.
Take him in the Bible.
Andre called Bad News Brown a very derogatory term when they were overseas in a bus, and Bad News Brown got so pissed at him he wanted to get Andre off that bus and fight him. And then Andre, finally, of course, Andre didn't go out there to fight him, but Andre finally apologized to him. But Andre just kind of joking around, calling some bad words to old Bad News Barrett back in the day.
Old Bad
Big E
News.
Shaq said that on the 11th day God created Hollywood Hogan.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, seriously, that's like one of my favorite promos. For me, like the best promos, I would say my top three, like Hollywood Hogan basically forming the NWO.
This is where the power lies, brother.
Number 2, Austin 316. Like, come on. And then number 3, franchise throws the NWA title down and picks up the ECW title. I think those are my top 3 promos of all time.
That was pretty good.
They were all game changing.
How about when Austin threw the belt into the river?
That's pretty fun too. And then I think Rock hit him with a fishing pole and threw him into the river. That was pretty funny.
The Jericho debut promo with The Rock was great as well.
When I was a kid and I was watching World Class Championship Wrestling on Saturday nights back in the day, when I was over at my grandmother's house spending the night, I'd be watching that World Class Championship Wrestling with Fred Von Erich and the Von Erichs. And man, when I saw, Gary Hart, man, when Gary Hart, he brought out I think he was managing a little bit of the Kamala, the Ugandan giant. When he brought Kamala out, Kamala didn't have to say nothing because he's scary as hell. And man, Gary Hart staring at that camera kind of reminds me of some of the, not the voice of like a Jake the Snake, but like a voice from a man who's lived on the streets of Chicago, man. That's Gary Hart, man. He told it like it was. And man, he just made you feel that scaredness. And man, I was like, damn, this is some scary ass bad guys. But no doubt about it, in the main event, you always had the Von Erichs, man. Tried and true. They was alive back then, but sometimes gone too soon. But they was kicking that ass on Kamala, and they usually was able to defeat and slay the Ugandan giant because Fritz didn't like his boys losing. He always wanted his boys to be the cream of the crop. Of course, that led them to drugs, and then most of them had to drop. What say you, Drew Manchu?
Well, I say Big E Shaq in the chat says Booker T is coming for you. That was a great promo.
Damn,
we all love that.
For you.
We all love when it goes wrong. I was a huge fan of the ECW era, but I think that
the first era or the second one owned by WWE.
The first ECW, but I think that one of the characters from ECW that carried over really well to the Monday Night Wars was Raven, and I loved his promos when he'd use big words, he'd run people down, and then he'd just be the chicken shit heel who let his buddies take the heat for him. It was a really great gimmick at the time. I love the Flock. I think nothing makes you a better heel than being like, no, I'm not going to fight you. You get to watch Sick Boy instead. That pisses everybody off. Yeah, I don't want to watch Sick Boy. Sick Boy, shit about Lodi.
Fucking Van Hammer.
Now, Billy,
some of the promos he cut on.
You get a Kidman.
Yeah.
Well, Kidman was all right. He got fat and weird in his old age. It's kind of strange. Looking at round Billy Kidman is very disturbing.
98 Kidman, okay.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of
the Ambrose shirt and the blue jean shorts.
Yep.
The promos that Raven did against Benoit and
DDP
Piper, DDP in that 3-way for the U.S. title,
man,
which was like that whole thing got blown up when they put the U.S. title on Goldberg. I'll never forgive him. That fucking bald-headed fuck.
I remember that.
He had to come in.
TRL on MTV.
Mm-hmm.
Like Raven hit DDP with a stop sign.
Yeah,
right. When during they had a Stuck Mojo video,
Raven got speared and lost that title, didn't he, Drew?
You guys know what happened to Stuck Mojo?
No, what happened?
Oh, they're called Fozzy now.
I'm the boogeyman, and I'm coming to get you. Tick.
Oh, the Fiend. The Fiend.
No,
I'm the boogeyman. I'll come and get you.
Chad, do you have an alarm clock you're gonna smash?
No, he's just gonna eat some worms. He's doing his best.
I remember the worm.
I'm the boogeyman, and I'm coming to get you.
I think that was possibly. I think
Chris Barrett. I don't know if we can highlight that, but I don't think we should. It's pretty hilarious, though.
Which one?
Chris Barrett.
CP. Well, you know what, my friends? I know y'all want to keep watching us all night because, hell, if I was in your shoes, that's what I would do. But, man, this thing's off the rails, man. I think we're going to have to save the rest of this. We're going to have to continue this party on into tomorrow night's live show when we have the Comical back in action. Drew Manchu, Seawood19, Chad, Cat Wren, BKR90, the superstar some of y'all don't even know, but his name's Mark, and he likes to eat a lot of different foods
I'm
for you.
wondering what Mark's going to eat tomorrow.
He'll always have something cool.
Oh,
What do you think, Chad? Chad, let's go over some, let's not close just yet because I almost forgot. We have to get out some news, and I want to talk. I'll start real quick shout out TiVo. We love this guy. He always gives us some great advice because he's been in the community a really long time. He's got one of the most successful live shows ever in the comic book community, Lords of the Long Box. He just has recreated his channel because the old one is no longer available. So go to the new channel and check out Lords of the Long Box. You'll be glad you did. Chad, what you got, brother? Whoa, Chad, watch out that knife. Is that a throw?
No, I'm looking in the chat and
Look in there. What do you see?
So
Tell me what do you see, Chad?
Let's take a look at this for a moment. Y'all have a great
good night for life, probably.
I think you should have put a G, an 8, an N, and an 8. Good night. Well, great night. Not great
Hi,
night
Jason.
4.
Wait, do we have a gun for? What do you have a gun for? Are you going to shoot me?
Or is it a good
So
night?
here's some synchronicity right here.
Uh-oh. Oh my God. Who's feeding this guy information? How does he know this? Someone's feeding this guy information.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this is some tried and true digital reality synchronicities, crap like that. But this guy's got something.
Yeah.
Wasn't this the idea that Cat Wren pitched for creative?
Last night.
Start out with a Brady Bunch intro. This is all Cat Wren people. Actually, though, I used to work with a guy that is the first cousin to Susan Olsen, aka Cindy Brady. True story. I used to work with him at my old library. That was pretty cool. Bill,
This has been 6 degrees of Cindy Brady.
let's see. Bill Olsen. I hope you're doing good. He's probably not subscribed to this channel, but
Well, then fuck him.
Bill Olsen. Almost said Bill Goldberg. You too, Bill Goldberg. I hope you're having to get super kick, bitch.
To subscribe to the Comicore.
How about the t-shirts?
The t-shirts. But if you guys want tickets, hit us up, and we can get you discounted t-shirts.
Hit us up and we may pee in your cup. Cheap rhyme, sorry. Hospital rhyme.
I got an idea for Cat Wren's
Classic
Batman
hospital.
Damned opening. My cousin worked with the Karate Kid. What?
There's a lot of kids that know
Has
karate.
gone off the rails even more than we have.
I know, right? CB's out of control, just like we are. So we'll see you next time.
Baron the Butcher.
Yeah, so
Sting.
we've got a ton of shit coming for you guys the Comicore way, but Drew's dropping knowledge on you. See Woodard.
Just waving his knife at you, and if you don't watch the show,
I'll
he's
cut
gonna
you.
slice your throat.
Oh, I probably
Okay,
get-
sorry.
We'll probably get taken down if they see
Gone
it.
too soon. Those are wrestling promos. Entertainment. This is the Comicore Entertainment CCE
I think we need to just end this.
TM, TMK
Bye, guys.
trademark cameo first appearances.
Drew Manchu, baby.
Speculation, all that crazy stuff.
Okay, we're off.
The commercial.
Cut the